We are presenting informal digital English learning and Hong Kong pre-service EFL teachers' perspectives on using EIL materials. IDLE is an emerging phenomenon defined as autonomous English activities in out-of-class digital context, where students engage independently without being evaluated by a language teacher. Teaching EIL entails embracing the plurality of English and the diversity of its users and uses, as well as striving to prepare English language learners for the social-linguistic reality of English. Previous research by Lee et al. Found that Indonesia preserves English teachers who participated in IDLE more frequently had more positive attitudes toward varieties of English, making them more willing to use EIL materials in the classroom. However, this study relied primarily on survey data from Indonesia preserves teachers, ignoring an in-depth mechanism of how IDLE influences one's English varieties followed by their perceptions of using EIL materials. And this study fills the gap by conducting a qualitative study with pre-service English teachers in Hong Kong. To that end, we invited 20 Hong Kong EFL pre-service teachers. They created a 3-minute video to report their IDLE experience in relation to EIL. Then via online Zoom in English, each participant was invited to a 13-minute stimulated recall and a 20-minute semi-structured interview. Retroactive methods such as interview responses based on past memories reduce data accuracy and reliability. In contrast, participants in the current study provided more accurate information about their IDLE and EIL data because the stimulated recalls allow them to recall their past experience using audio and visual images. And we identified 2 major themes after transcribing and analyzing the data. According to the findings, 95% of the participants believe that IDLE activities helped them become more positive toward different varieties of English. IDLE learners are more exposed to a variety of English accents because they have more access to diverse English content, including varied English accents. As Cato mentioned, even though all characters in English TV dramas speak English, the way they deliver English is different based on different nationalities or ethnic backgrounds like Irish, Norwegian. After repetitive exposure to English diversity, I found it's normal and appreciate it more. IDLE, in particular, assisted students in becoming more accepting of their own local English accent. Wing said, I have noticed different languages have different pronunciations that non-native English speakers used to be bound to, so it's normal to have accents and the way they speak English is cute. I don't need to feel ashamed of my own accent. Instead, I'm now being ignorant and comfortable with my local accent. Some participants stated that IDLE helped them not only become more positive toward different varieties of English, but also more aware of other cultures. Yuli said, through interaction with online friends via Interpols, I became more open-minded toward different English accents. It's interesting that we all speak one language but differently. I enjoy listening to non-native English speakers speaking English and guessed what countries they came from. It was fun, as it could bring some cultural awareness. Furthermore, we found that 70% of Hong Kong pre-service teachers reported integrating EIL materials like listening materials between non-native English speakers into the classroom. Some data show how IDLE influences future teachers' perceptions of English varieties, making them more willing to use EIL materials in the classroom. For example, Yuli said, I want my students to be open-minded about English and understand different accents because of globalization. It's beautiful that we all have different accents across the world. IDLE activities are very convenient methods of introducing those different accents in the classroom. While listening to their English accents, it's interesting to point out English accent and explain to students that it's beautiful that we have differences, but would be boring if we have only one style of speaking English. Because senior level students generally have more linguistic and intellectual resources, half of the participants suggested that EIL materials be introduced in the senior level classroom. Daniel argued it's important for students to have the intellectual and linguistic resources they need to express themselves before branching out to discover different varieties of English. We echoed, we need to consider the language level of targets. For the first few years, it's better for students to learn native English, so I won't introduce various accents in the English class to kindergarten kids. After having a basic understanding of English and independent skills to communicate with others, they may perceive the message that non-authentic English can also be understood. Because standard English such as American English is still widely used in schools, 4 participants state that EIL materials would be used as a supplement. For instance, as Xiao mentioned, I agree to bring diverse English accent to the classroom. However, I wouldn't recommend it as the main class materials. It may influence their academic grades as the examination authority only sets a British or American accent as criteria. I would like to use it as a supplement. For example, I may invite English tutors from different countries to give 1 or 2 lessons to raise students' awareness of different types of English. Our research found that EIL provided pre-service English teachers with ample exposure to EIL materials and users, allowing them to become more tolerant of different dialects of English, including their own English accents. This appears to boost their desire to use EIL materials in the future classroom. One of our participants, Wing, for example, used to be embarrassed about her accent and wanted to speak like a native English news reporter because she was afraid people would laugh at her local attached English accent. Throughout her formal English education, it appears that her teacher and classmates have consistently considered standardized English, like American or British English, to be a good accent. However, once she became a university student, she freely engaged in idle activities for at least 2 hours per day. Then she became more exposed to different types of English by watching English content YouTube videos or having in-game oral English conversations with game players from Slovenia, Mexico, and Chile in Minecraft. Her extensive exposure to and interaction with diverse English users and uses led her to believe that different versions of English are common in today's globalized digital world. This shift in perception has made her more accepting of various forms of English, including her own English accent. Then this influenced her pedagogical belief positively by increasing her attention to use EIL materials in the classroom. Wayne stated, "If I were an English teacher in the future, I would implement those different accents into my teaching to help students understand different Englishes easier in real life because they should not be restricted to British or American accent." Based on the current findings and previous research, we propose that Hong Kong EFL teacher educators could provide ABC support. Effective support, such as encouraging pre-service EFL teachers to participate in more interest-based adult activities and experience the reality of EIL, like diverse English usages and accents encountered during idle activities. Behavior support, such as training pre-service teachers to design and implement idle activities related to EIL, like discussing one's culture with other English users in online communities. Cognitive support, such as raising teachers' awareness of EIL and EIL through seminars, workshops, and lectures. From a research standpoint, we tend to focus on classroom-based intervention programs to raise awareness of EIL and EIL pedagogy. We can pay more attention to EIL in out-of-class digital setting now that technology has advanced, affordance has increased, and there are more EIL materials and users available on the internet. Thank you for your attention, and now we'd like to open the floor for questions.